how do non-white people counter evil without operating in secret?
Oh, because the antidote for secrecy is openness, is honesty, truth. People who are operating in a deceptive manner have a lot of secrets because they have to. That's the essence of deception. If a magician does not tell you what he or she is doing in his magic, I mean, how they do the sleight of hand and whatnot, a card shark has to be deceptive. So the system of white supremacy thrives on deception, thrives on making things appear to be something that they are not. They have to do that. You can't keep people enslaved for very long in an efficient manner unless you have a system of deception in place. If you're going to do it on a long-term basis, you can do it on a short-term basis just by brute force. But at some point, you have to settle down and say, like, a bogus salesman, you might say, tell you what I'm going to do. I mean, you got it all wrong. Let's sit down and talk. Okay, well, that's when the deception starts taking place. Let's sit down and talk and have a beer and have some coffee and whatnot, and let's thrash out our differences. It's the mob type thing. It's the Corleones and the Barzinas, if you use the Godfather movie as a guide. Let's sit down and talk and see, and that's when the deception comes into play, because the system of white supremacy is a gangster system. It's a gangster system working on the same principle as what you might call organized crime. In fact, it is the most efficient system of organized crime that the world has ever seen. They steal on a massive scale, not nickel and diamond, not, the refined white supremacist doesn't go into a corner store with a gun and say, stick 'em up and give me your cigarettes, and go running out, and stumbling over things and dropping the cigarettes on the way out and probably get into a shootout with somebody over some nickels and dimes and some cigarettes. This is all reserved, for the most part, in the system of white supremacy for people of color. All that nickel and dime nonsense, robbing and stealing at that level. The white supremacists move in with a pen in hand and sign away whole continents. And everything is cordial. Everybody's standing around smiling. Black people standing around with wide smiles on their faces, shaking hands. Everybody with suits and ties, all very cordial, and losing everything in the process because they don't know what the deception is in the small print. So sometimes the small print isn't even there. The small print isn't on paper. It's in the minds of the person who is handing out the pens and saying, sign here. And we're all in agreement on this and that. This is how most of it is done. This is even after all the shooting has taken place, or before the shooting has taken place, and after the shooting has taken place. The deception sets in at the negotiating table, and it starts immediately. And they are the best in the world at it. And the non-white people of this planet haven't figured out how to beat that yet. First of all, by not recognizing that they are being deceived again at the treaty table